Well, hello, fellow traveler. Fancy meeting you on this beautiful full moon in Cancer. This is when we finally begin to find our way down to that birthing portal that's coming through with the Capricorn new moon on the 18th. This is kicking off a pretty significant cycle. I hope your new moon is off to a poignant start. That is the energy signature that we are entering in here. You could say that this is a bit of an initiatory gateway into the portal that will be the stuff of our rebirth, the stuff on the other side of the Plutonian territory. But make no bones about it, we're still in that Plutonian territory. We got a long ride with that, but now we're really going to learn how to overcome the boxes, how to move out of oppositional points that tend to be lines that continue to divide us and keep us held in a state of frustration, pent-up energy, where there needs to be frisson, a cracking open of the earth for a new road to be forged. The energy is pretty potent that's coming in right now. This particular full moon is coming in at 13 degrees Cancer, 13, the energy signature of death in the tarot. Scorpionic territory, but also transformation. We can't forget that piece. On the other side of death, there's rebirth. The cycle begins again. And so this is a very poignant pause we are experiencing on the journey. I was more fascinated with the alignment coming in with the fixed star Sirius, which is, of course, the spiritual sun. And it's also the brightest star that we're aware of, at least where we have sights that can see. And it's coming in at 14 degrees Cancer, temperance energy on the scene. Winks at Sagittarius season, that new moon in Sagittarius that came in, coming forward here to kick off this cycle that's coming to a culmination point with this full moon. And I was really intrigued by that Sabian symbol. So we're doing this a little bit differently here to move into this particular expansion, okay? Because the point of expansion for this particular Sabian symbol also comes in Sagittarius at 18 degrees, aligned with the energy of the moon in tarot, initiatory gateway. And so I said, yeah, let's tap into this. Let's tap into this, okay? Mixing it up a little bit, of course, while I'm talking to you about this, I got my hands in deep to the ARCANE BS. So we're gonna get into a little bit of that stuff we love so much around here, that weird ass mystical shies, man. So let's see what's coming in with this full moon. This particular Sabian symbol that's aligned with the Sirius moon dance they're doing out there is coming in with a very old man facing dark space. You can also view this as a wise old crone facing dark space too. I'm really feeling that more so. My kind of take on the Sabian symbol. I'm feeling that crone energy forward very strongly. I'm feeling that elder energy forward very strongly. I'm feeling that intensity of the sage, of the wise old wizard, of the great bard Taliesin, who has been banged up in his travels, but has come forward with quite a few diamonds out of the void that are worth their weight in more than gold. And so I feel this there too. It feels like it's really fertile territory to me, even though we may be staring into dark space, staring into the unknown. Now think of that. If you view that dark space like a scrying mirror, there's such a point of potentiality there. What are you going to seed there? Let yourself be the seed in that dark space. What wants to sprout from you? What's germinating in you? What little tendrils are you already feeling spiral out from your center that will be the birth of new growth? the things that are going to break through the ground of your being, the things that are going to weave together to form your road ahead. This is the energy, okay? So this isn't an empty space. It's a dark space. And it's the birthing point of light. It's that energy of Persephone just starting to reach and sort of poke her fingers through the ground of Hades, ready to surface early. The Empress is ready to rise, okay? The Empress is ready to rise. Any minute now, that other drop is going to occur. There's like some sense of a drop here. You may have experienced a drop. You may have experienced a drop, a significant drop, some kind of truth dropped, or some truth's about to drop real soon. A second drop comes after that. It's like an elixir for the soul. It's something alchemizing. It's something that's put into motion, into action. This is the energy coming through here, and there is a certain awareness to hold, a certain intention to hold as we're moving into this territory with this Sabian symbol of that wise elder facing dark space, is that all that passes proves to be ephemeral, but what remains behind, that's a truth that endures. And this is a navigational point. There's some truth that's going to come in here. There's going to be developments that come in. There's going to be twists and turns that come in during this lunar cycle. And these are the points that allow you the gift and the revelation of self-discovery, and how that syncs up with core truth for you, and will have you very committed to moving forward in alignment with your heart. The vehicle that carries you forward may be different than you expect. You may surprise yourself with how determined you are to fight any opposition, to cut off anything that doesn't serve you in moving forward towards your heart, but the heart fire will be found here. You see, with this serious influence coming in there, this is a time when there's going to be powerful emotions surfacing. There's going to be a lot of intuition activation. A lot is going to be coming in, and with quite some intensity. And there is a lot that is connected to that heart fire in relation to this, because we also have, with this full moon, in alignment of the Sun, Venus, and Mars, that's bringing in new beginnings. It's opening roads where there appeared to be none. There's alignment coming in, especially in matters of love. This is true. You may just discover who your star mate is here. There may be an unexpected way to move things forward, something you're not anticipating now. I think this is speaking to that star mate energy. Oh, I love this. I love this. Ooh, I'm going to leave this as a surprise as we drop into this line here. Yes, I love this. Basis of the matter. Instincts coming on board. Your senses awakening, spidey senses tingling, sensing the reverberations in that cosmic web of creation. Wisdom of self-knowledge, activated avatar on board. This is using the intelligence merged with the intuitive knowing that comes in to help you really grok the true nature of things, see through certain guises, deceptions, and be able to enact the powers of transformation. We look at that serpent energy. It's also Scorpio on the medicine wheel. And so this is finally shedding that skin. It's finally allowing the scales to fall from the eyes. And it's bringing about the transformational rise into self-knowledge that allows you to know what to do and what is true. It is the blending of wisdom with intuition, which is instinct at its finest. And how is this coming through? Well, first of all, any of our false masks are being shed. We're starting to really have true knowledge of who we are. And that changes the game, because there are certain things that are going to be revealed about ourselves that we weren't even aware of. In some cases, these may be ways that you've been playing too small, or gifts you don't recognize that you hold, or certain things that you have recovered, certain aspects of yourself that now change the way you need to move forward. Because no longer can the mask be worn, a certain cover has been blown. And this is something that frees us here. This is also you seeing the truth of others, seeing their true intentions, their true desires, who they truly are. And this has a lot to do with that Sun, Venus, Mars alignment, combined with the fixed star influence of Nuki, which shows everybody's true colors. It's that Venus rising, stripped of adornments, stripped of any artifice, getting down to the heart of the matter. And it also reveals to us what truly is love. What truly is love? And are there any parameters around that? How far can love expand? How far are we willing to expand into love? Even now, the potential is hanging out there, gaining power at the root, gaining power at your root. Soon you'll drink it in. Then you'll see. You'll get aligned with the weird tree. But it's resting. It's just hanging out right now. It's waiting to come to the surface. It's building power down below before it gets ready to rise above. See, this energy will be harnessed. The fertilization point will be harnessed. And then there will be that removing of attachments to things that are false sources of power, that don't allow us to be self-generating sources of power. Parasitic fruit in reverse. We free ourselves of the temptation and instead cut to the chase. Get to the true source of fulfillment here. What do we got here? Wow. Do you see what I mean? It's the transformation that's birthed on the other side of that deep dive into Pluto's territory. And we may feel a bit like we are a fish out of water here, but we're getting in touch with this soma, with this new perspective, and there's a call coming in. It may be something that's calling out of the past, that's rebirthing here, something deep within your roots, but this is creative potential activated here, giving birth to a skull. Giving birth to a skull. Let me do a cut of the deck on that. Yeah, it could be something rooting up out of the past with this effing guy here who's got a big stick and has a claim to stake. It's coming in with the skeleton eating a banana here. I don't know. This is an interesting liminal space. If you look at the dichotomy there might be a question. Death may be questioning if this should be reanimated. That's what I feel like that is. Yeah, there's still a little dichotomy here. I mean, there is this energy of, okay, I'm on this precipice here. Judgment's been called. I got this 8th house mystery by the tail. I resolved something that was unsolved here. Now I got the leading of a brand new charge. I did some cleansing away. Frog medicine, spiritual cleansing. I did some cleansing away. I'm ready to enter that portal. Interesting the way it comes out. These two are looking at each other. I think this is the true fruit. It's sort of like deciding what's of true fruit here. And when you look at the line as it came out in relation to this, do you see the imagery? It almost gives me the impression of this effing guy is sort of fighting apparitions, you know? Stuff that's not really there. Maybe this effing guy is this very old man facing dark space. Facing dark space, creating more of what won't nourish. If he doesn't turn around and get the orientation correct here, you know? Instinct. Which way do I go? Which way did they go? Does it matter? That's what this looks like to me. It's like, which way did they go, right? Don't matter. That's what doesn't matter. That's the orientation part of the story that needs to be adjusted here. Somebody is too fixated on which way is somebody else going. And they're recreating this kind of scenario here where they chase the forbidden fruit. I mean, nothing is really forbidden. You got free will. But you find that a lot is forbidden to you when you partake of that fruit. It kind of keeps you in a repeat cycle until you finally cleanse it away. I think somebody is going to address this, you know. I do see there's stuff surfacing from the past that's coming in here. Secrets are coming out of the crypt. There's a lot of old slippery characters coming out in the crypt. There's also transformation here too. It just depends on how you play it. One way sets you free. Another way gets things cut off. It all has to do with the way we look at things. How much importance we place in them. Blocking energy. Come in, man. Let me clear my throat for a moment here. See, we have the here, but it's all the way you say it, and it's all the way you place it when it comes to those labels, because it could be the effing guy, right? Or it could be the effing guy. You know, it's all about how we place that the above the thing that really determines how much power it holds, you know? And there's something coming in here about, you know, this birthing canal here could be destroyed by placing too much importance before something that's nobody or nothing, and turning it into the nobody, the nothing. Yeah, maybe that's what little Pablo is saying with judgment there. Yes, good judgment there. You know, it could be Lil Pablo, or it could be the Lil Pablo. I mean, that really changes the whole game. So there's something about making distinctions, and it's those distinctions perhaps, or maybe even those reactions with the wet pants, which could be, you know, the wet pants or the wet pants, you know what I'm saying? And it's these kind of clues that are coming through with the heron bearer here. And once you learn to fish for those clues, well, you'll eat forever. You don't need to sacrifice anything for, you know, this one old begrudgingly offered fish here. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting energy. It's interesting energy. It's going to reveal a lot to us. It's going to reveal a lot about hidden agendas, false faces, and it's what we do with that material here that transforms everything. But here's where the clue comes in about the way to expand into this energy. I mentioned that Sabian symbol, That's the means of expansion. Sagittarius 18 degrees aligned with the moon. And that is all about evoking, invoking, calling in a guardian against energetic overload. And that guardian can be anything that you name it. It can be the guardian. It can be different for everybody. For some people, that guardian may be meditation, or that guardian can be practicing mindfulness in day-to-day life, or that guardian can be doing some kind of spiritual cleansing. That guardian can be anything that takes you to a place where it brings you into the present, because the present is actually really the guardian. The present moment allows you to sense where there's energetic shifts, where something's off, where something doesn't feel quite right. It is the point of instinct. It's the point where you can merge your intuition with your wisdom, and then you're really on lock. That's when your actions have the most power here, to prevent you from getting caught up in situations that not only can be embarrassing, but can sting quite a bit and hold one back. And what allows you to transcend previous obstacles and get on the rise there with that eagle medicine. Get a view from the top of the world tree after peering into some mysteries. There may have been some things that were sacrificed along the way. Odin had to make sacrifices too. Every character that you hear of with a lore worth its weight has gone through some kind of proposition where there had to be a sacrifice to gain something greater. A little peering into that weird ass mystical shit. And I do see that that's what's coming through here for us. I want to just get a round of these in relation to this expansion energy on how can we expand into the energy of Sagittarius 18 degrees here, so we can invoke that guardian to protect us from energetic overload. So that lets you know you're already going to be taking in a lot. Okay, there's going to be a lot of activation. Your intuition's going to be heightened. There's going to be a lot of experiences coming your way that are going to be revealing things to you. This is like all the veils are coming down, you know? All the illusions are falling away. This is like the big reveal. If we had to give like a title to this section of the journey, this is the chapter of the big reveal. Not just revealing things outside of us, but revealing for us too. It's showing us different parts of ourselves. It's seeing things on the macrocosmic level, what's going on behind the scenes, but we're going to have this happening in our personal lives with people we know, with situations, and in some cases it can be a lot. It can pack a punch. It can be really intense, and so you have to be able to manage your energy in such a way where you're not going to be overloaded by it, overwhelmed by it, because that's what can really catch this energy up here. Yeah, don't get caught up in meaningless garbage, because it's going to make it difficult to transcend this little portion of the journey here. You won't know whether you're coming or going, and you're going to feel completely effed if you go about that route. So look at, there's the fish symbolism there. See, there ain't even nothing to eat here. You see what I mean? One direction leads to the parasitic fruit. There's two fruits on offer here. One is the fruit of temptation. One is the fruit of knowledge. Know the difference. Know the difference. That's how it's coming through. Know the difference. Not knowing the difference can really prevent this rebirthing cycle. Do you see? It taps in the center here. Pay attention to what's going on in your center. They call it gut instinct for a reason, you know? Do you have some meaningless garbage tapped into you there, corded into you there? This is taking back your creative power. Ooh. For some of you, I don't know why I put that parasitic fruit back in here. We're not putting that back in here. Oh no, it wants to attach. I feel that. This can be an intimate contact for a lot of y'all with the filthy mattress here. Scavenger energy. Okay, scavenger, hungry for energy. Who's hungry for your energy? It doesn't just have to be intimately, and intimacy doesn't just have to be connecting with another sensually. There's many different forms of intimacy. What are you intimate with right now? Do you know? Have you looked at it beyond the scope of just like hookup energy? What are you intimate with right now? It matters. It matters. This is a detail that will move you forward very differently. Will have you going through a transformation. You see, this is when you finally learn how to fish. You get beyond the thorns, you get the rose. You can swim upstream. You can go against the grain because that's where all the birth and the power is here, and you'll hit the mark with that Capricorn new moon. If you really clue into this energy in this way, okay? What are you intimate with? Do you know what intimacy is even about? Do you really? It's a good question. It's a good meditation. It's something to ponder, and it's also a good sort of calibration point. Okay, those wanted to come out together. Let's see what's up there. Ooh, because some of you are intimate with things that are not what they appear to be. And in order to protect this birthing portal and this new sound that wants to lead the charge that's coming in here with the saxophone fetus, activating that web of creation, a little nod to that previous download I brought in, portal report around Pharaoh Sanders. I'll make sure to connect that here. This is that energy signature being activated. It was about the movements. Remember the web and the movements. There's movement in the web. So this is that cosmic web of creation is now being activated. Things are going to start to root on earth, but we have to be aware of the BS that's going to block the path and let that shit go, man. Because this is the new charge. This is the new sound. It's the rebirth of slick. And where you think something is nothing, nothing may very well be something. And what's taken a long time to come to the point of awareness is about to be revealed. And when you recognize it, when you see it, you'll realize that you invested maybe looking in the wrong portal here with the cat licking its butt for all of eternity. See, this is what that void is here, placing too much importance by how you label something. That is a very old man facing dark space. It's wasting the creative potential and making oneself a martyr at the cost of true magic. Cost of true magic. Okay. A lot of interesting energy coming in here, I have to say. Very interesting energy. Let me do a cut of the deck. See what we got. So, which way will you go? Which way did they go? It's all about your orientation. What is the way that you will choose? Whew, do you see? Look for everything to start to dissolve during this cycle, 28:44 on the clock. It's a powerful moment where that wheel of fortune is ready to turn. How is it going to turn? It's all about dissolving this. You have to dissolve what's divided so you can come into the unification point. But first it's going to get a little messy. So time's going to feel a little slippery. It's going to feel a bit undefined. It will be a while before you're able to say it's the path. But the thing is that all the power is in that moment. It's not in the label itself. And the more that labels fall away, the more that things are possible. So don't be so quick to label something that. You know what I'm saying? You think it's probably nothing, but it's something. It's a moment of great power. It's a moment of great power. And that web could be online too. One source is destructive, one source is cathartic, transformational. And we're trying to bridge that gap right now when we look at it collectively, because technology is part of Pluto in Aquarius. And there is a way to make it something cathartic, transformational, progressive, or there's a way to make it destructive. And we're kind of teetering on that edge right now, you know, with the AI and the data centers and, you know, all that action. And it's a tale as old as time, but there's something we have to figure out here about how we're going to use that just on one scope of the experience here, okay? But this is a big energy that's hard to define. I'm curious what the Grease priest is hiding, aren't you? I am. I want to know what's hiding behind this Grease priest. Let's see it together. It's the early squirrel that gets the worm, that gets the creative power. You know, you need worms to make things grow. But worms come around when things are decaying too, right? There's an old power structure here that's being decayed that provides fertile growth for those who have eyes that see it. But you have to get a different perspective here. And the experiences are coming in to show you that. To show you where you're kind of like staring into darkness and seeing it as just empty space, emptiness, seeing it as space death, you could say. It reminds me of that card in this deck, Space Death. I'm going to find it now and we'll see what's hanging out around space death in here, because I feel like that's kind of the elusive element, the way that's introducing itself. Or whether you view it as a point of fertility, right? Like, well, nothing's there, so that means everything is there. And what do I want to call in from the everything to make manifest? It's how the energy is kind of being expressed here. Let's see. Come on, man. Where are you, Space Death? Want to be another one of those cards that's going to totally like hide out from me. That always tends to happen. But maybe that won't happen. Maybe this will be the time that that doesn't happen in the first go around. It actually shows up on the scene. I do feel like there's a connecting point here. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel so compelled to look for it. Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I knew it. I knew there'd be something there. Oh, there's the pineite hanging out, of course. Okay. Oh, little hint of the gravy funnel. The bird book snake thing and the gross cup. Okay. Oh, very interesting. Okay, we're going to bring in this whole line, okay? So you see, we have somebody looking in one direction here, right? Peering into the future, and they're getting error. I almost said arrow. Arrow not found. There's not even an arrow to point in that direction to hit the mark. There's no way to hit the mark in that direction. You have somebody here that is trying to grok a mystery, but they're kind of like looking in the wrong direction. That's what I got. Error. You're not going to find it there. That's the gross cut. That's the illusion. That's staring into some kind of mirage, some kind of glamour. You'll discover it though when this hidden knowledge is activated. That's what will align you with your true north. Something's transformed. Creative powers put in your hands through what's being unveiled here. Okay, and it will eventually lead you to the gravy funnel because something is protected here. You see how it goes through this transformation process? The dawn is going to come whether you go the long route or the short route. It really is up to you. It's your journey. You can take whatever route you want to go. But see, there's one way where, you know, you can be like the digging ghost here. Running low on fuel, chasing down a dream, experiencing one electrifying tower moment after another, dealing with a lot of competitive companions, you know, having the wrong group around you that's kind of leading you astray, making you take the long way home, not getting where you want to go because you're listening to a grease priest instead of listening to your own instinctual knowing that's trying to guide you into many paths of fertile exploration here, okay? That's what was in between the space death. Or you can reorient yourself and you go straight to the point. You get straight to the cosmic carrot because you cut off what's keeping you from activating the full potential of big, sexy Satan. And I'm looking at that as that 10th house activation, okay? Because we see the stag horns hinted at here, the stone of destiny, right? It's almost got vibes. This big, sexy Satan actually reminds me of Mahakala. He looks a lot like that Mahakala energy, mastering time, you know? And what was behind that? What do we got here? We got the Pie Knight, okay? Mercurial energy. But it's about what you label it. Is it the sexy Satan, big sexy Satan? Or just big sexy Satan? You know, you might be trying to choose between the lesser of two evils. That's what your brain may tell you, but that's not true. There's something that you've labeled as a devil that's not a devil at all. You see the wings hinted at here? There's a transcendence here that leads to the North Node, a transformation that comes from confronting what you fear is a devil. But it's actually your dawn. I mean, it makes me think of Lucifer, light bearer, you know, this kind of energy coming in, this like sort of dichotomous energy coming through. Something viewed as devilish is actually earning its wings. It could even be a part of you, you know, that you sort of like shamed, cast into the dark here. This is like the rebirthing portal. It's like recognizing that something has really been transformed. It is your cosmic carrot. And what might be the most difficult thing to cut off here is a previous belief in order to be able to see it. Previous standpoint, previous view. But as this unmasking starts to occur, you're going to be able to spot the difference between what truly is that whole pie and what is just full of holes. Okay? There's a sacrifice required, though, to go through this door. See, there's that one eye missing. You want to peer into what's behind this door, this mystery door, the door? Something's got to go. Something's got to go. All right. You know, I want to leave it at just that. Just the arcane BS, man. Maybe pull out some numbers here. Pull out a little ERISIAN spirit board action. But this feels complete to me. I don't want to go deeper into it than that. I think this is all good right where it's at. I think it sums up the energy perfectly. I don't want to get into a bunch of like kind of dry rhetoric around it, around getting into specific, you know, astrological components right now. I feel like that would weigh down this message. I don't want to weigh it down. I want to move it into expansion. So let's just leave it as it is here, okay? And let's get some numbers. And let's get some messages from the old spirit board action to see what wants to come in here. Let's see. Okay, we got life path 6, life path 2, life path 9, life path 8, life path 11, master number there. Master path number 2 breaks down to 2. High priestess energy here, empress energy here, rebirth of Venus energy here. The choice. I really prefer to call it the choice, but because of the energy that is coming in with the alignment of Sun, Venus, and Mars, we certainly have an intensity of like a love story potentially brewing here. It could be a choice in love for some. We also have 11, justice. Okay, so critical alignment point for Venus here, for sure. Gemini energy coming in pretty strongly, communication coming in strongly. Taurus, Libra coming in strongly. Of course, it's the rebirth of Venus. This energy very forward right now, weighing up against also our values and what's meaningful to us in terms of our relationships, our partnerships, and where we have opposition, where we have things that we view as the enemy, where there's apparent opposition, you know. What is that standing point? What is it sort of based on there, looking at that? It's also looking at material gain as well, which I think is that sort of devil energy coming in. It's being more expressed as big sexy Satan, to me, is coming through as like the personification of that 10th house activation. We have to remember this energy is going to lead us up to that new moon in Capricorn, represented by the devil, okay? There's something there that has us feeling kind of big and sexy, you know? By the time we get to that point, if we properly align, it's evoking that invoking of the intuition of the high priestess that came from the time of being in the underworld and dancing with that devil and doing that integration point, now rising here with that empress energy, right? And that's a firm yes on that. It comes together with the 5. That's that Hierophant energy, recognizing I don't need an intermediary. I'm embodying the creative power. There's something that is really changing radically in terms of your day-to-day routine. What you've been doing up to this point, by the time you get to that new moon in Capricorn, you're doing something very differently here based on what's revealed to you within this cycle. We also got Virgo energy here. There's something that is being transformed in the South Node. We got 9th house activation, Sagittarian energy, you know. This is the culmination point of what got kicked off with the Sagittarius new moon. So the story expands. New lore is being woven into the storyline in this cycle in an unexpected way, in a very revealing way. Okay, there's a lot happening here that moves us into more optimism, moves us into more expansion, and has us setting our sights, you know, getting the correct orientation here. It comes out in cycles, stages, remember? We get another piece of the puzzle here. It matters. It's something that brings about some kind of balance, alignment, Libra energy with that justice energy signature. But those who do take a dive in a direction that seems like a misorientation, okay, because you label something the thing when it's really just that, it don't matter, because eventually, even you go south far enough, you can get caught up for a while, but the energy will ultimately lead you to what your transformation point looks like with that Capricorn new moon, even if it means you have to dance with a particular devil one more round. Some of you may need to, okay? It's here, so I'm going to speak to it. We got the months of March, April, so Pisces, Aries, June, Gemini, Cancer, August, Leo, Virgo, September, Libra, and November, Scorpio, Sagittarius. And we got a 10 here too. October. So yeah. Strong Virgo. Strong Libra. Coming through here too. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get some ERISIAN Spirit Board messages here was 44:49 on the clock, 44:13, another 4, 4:44. See, cycles that are coming to a close, things that are going through the shed phase, they're moving us into greater power here. That's a really interesting message to come right out the gate. I got fracking coming in here, so there could be some stuff that's really shifting in the earth during this cycle in connection to fracking. And that might be something we're starting to see the residual effects of environmentally that's just coming in. There might also be, I got PayPal coming in here, so there might be more disruptions coming in online in relation to that digital currency platform. I know that they've experienced some challenges. There might be some more interruptions of service coming in there. I do think this is something we're going to see a lot more of just as things roll out here. I think it's totally by design myself. It's sort of like a power move, like know your place. I mean, it is how it's coming through. I'm just calling it out as it is. It might take some people time to get the memo, though, on that one. There's a big push for this. All of this stuff coming in here. There's this push for gains. If you move into cryptocurrency, if you move into the direction of AI, you know, you're going to be ahead of the curve, you know, don't catch the wave late. But which wave of change do you want to be on? Is that the wave of change, or is the wave of change actually not buying into that? And that's how we can bring about balance. Be careful. Be careful. I don't know why I came out like that. Be careful of where you dalliance, you know. Where you dally can exact quite a tally on your soul. All right. I got Georgia coming in relation to this. Okay. Somebody's got a case of hot feet, you know. The feet are itching to move, you know, trying to figure out a direction. Don't let hot feet have you rushing in a direction that will only take you further into the fire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Somebody may be having somebody do some root work on them. I mean, it's a derogatory term, but it's coming out as H-O, and I don't mean the gardening tool. There's a difference in spelling there. We don't have any here to put on the end. I mean, we do. You can go digging around like a digging ghost looking for that, but this is how the message came out. Something in relation to insufficient funds. Somebody who is viewed as a, you know, a dalliance, okay, coming in for California here. Somebody is being treated very disrespectfully. I just have to say that. You know, that might be what's revealed. You might get to see how somebody really feels about you. Something is revealed, how they view you. Be mindful. Be mindful of who you share intimacy with. Do they deserve it? You know, not everybody deserves access to you. That's how that's coming through. Yeah, it's not the way, it's not the way that's going to give you what you need. Somebody may be laying roots on somebody, giving them a case of hot feet. That's what I got. Who would be doing that? Maybe somebody who recently, I got within the past 6 months, got a DUI, okay? This person may be trying to give somebody hot feet. That's when they want somebody to leave the scene fast, you know? Go away, get out of here. They want to shoo somebody away. Maybe because of what they know, what they can light up, what they can reveal. Somebody they used to view as kin at one point, okay? Got Arizona coming in around that. I also got Delaware. This could be in relation to a legal case because I got the DA here. I feel like it's because they're rousing too much suspicion around somebody and it's getting a little too close for comfort. I got a house coming in connection with that. I also got CGI coming in here, so there could be a connecting point with that as well. Right. A lot of, you can tell there's a lot of like kind of heavier macrocosmic stuff coming through. I do think it is the order of the day. This stuff will continue to amplify in tandem with the changes that we're experiencing in our own little lives. There is some fun on offer here, though. I see that. So let's clue into that for a moment and see where the fun may be coming through. I have Los Angeles. I also have Louisiana coming in around that for some points of fun, points of connection. Somebody could be going to a party, okay? Invited to some kind of party. It could even be like at a destination as well. Might be something that's getting planned for the future. Might be planning a future trip. Maybe by car, might be a road trip, okay, coming in here. Maybe might be a road trip coming in to kind of be the glue, to kind of forge a bond or reinvigorate a connection or strengthen an opportunity, a position, okay? 'Cause there could be something that potentially could be intertwined with like a work opportunity or a reroute in a direction maybe ultimately that in some way will give more traction to career aspirations is coming through. I feel like the fit is like a glove. Okay, it fits like a glove, whatever this is. And by glove, I don't mean some O.J. Simpson shizer. Although for that to come in, there could be something there, okay? There could be something there. It's like, no, the glove fits. The glove fits. Nobody's buying the act. The glove fits. It's clearly seen. We cannot acquit. The glove fits. That's how it's coming through, okay? There might be like some key piece of evidence that's found in a case, and it's what wins the case. There's like no way to get out of that situation. We got New Zealand coming in. Okay, so something happening in New Zealand. It could be around a case, it's possible. Could be around a missing persons case, okay? Yeah, they could be coming across like a key piece of evidence there. Anything else? Huh, I just saw this dice here. Period. No, nothing else. That's it, okay? I do feel like there is something coming through in this span of time, this lunar cycle, that will lead us up to that new moon in Capricorn that is like finally like a period. It could be a statement, okay? Somebody's issuing a statement, okay? There's something you're signing on the dotted line, and once that's done, period. It's final. Like something is being laid to rest and something new is beginning here. It is the dawning of a new day, and there is a new way forward, okay? There is a new way forward. There's interesting things brewing here. So, stay tuned. It's an interesting environment. Forget going to 10. Take it to 11, all right? Because that's where it's at. And I think that if you have the right focus, which is really just as much as you can, mind your energy. And the best way you can do that is by being present. That's where you can really tell where's the energy off, you know? The more you get kind of distracted, the more that things can infiltrate your space and you can form an energetic intimacy with those kind of things that can really screw you up. So the more that you kind of come into this space where you're very present, however you do that, for some of you, you play your guitar. That brings you into the moment. For others of you, you paint. And everything else melts away except for this moment. Others of you find it on a yoga mat or by taking your dog for a walk out in nature and just getting outdoors into the elements and giving yourself that breathing room. There is no wrong way to go about it. Be more present. Do less checking out. You know, when you notice you're wanting to check out a bit, see what you can do to pull yourself back into the space of presence, to see what you're trying to tune out there, what is trying to also sort of cloud your attention, your intention, your awareness, and you'll get reoriented. And with that, 56 on the clock, 11:11, and we're going to call it good with that. All right. You got this. We all got this. And we'll have more details coming in. But this is for the next 72 hours. We like to roll with an opening 72 hours at the beginning of the week, an ending of the week 72 hours. So let's look at this window here, because this is like a ripe portal of potential that we're just starting to get acclimated to. We won't be ready to step through it until that Capricorn new moon. But this is the initiation point. So let's tune in and know when to tune out of certain things. And, you know, as we say around here, Godspeed. We'll all get there somehow.